What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Derek.
I'm Kevin.
And together we're last week's album. We're bringing you the only reviews with two different views. And this week we're talking about the Turnpike Troubadours self-titled album. And we're asking the question, will the Turnpike Troubadours country sound make you turn up the volume? Before we go any further, we're going to start things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Whoa, Kevin, don't you think this is a little awkward?
You mean that we're both wearing Turnpike Troubadours merch? I mean, we did go to their show last night.
No, just that you're wearing a hat. That's new, but I like it. Yeah, and so I guess before we get into background, I guess we'll preface this with we happened to see these guys last night in Austin at the Austin City Limits Theater, the Moody Theater. Is that right, Kevin?
Yeah.
And it was great. So these guys are from Oklahoma. They're led by frontman Evan Felker, and this is their fourth studio album, following 2010's Diamonds and Gasoline, 2012's Goodbye Normal Street, and 2007's Bossier City. And so they've kind of made a name for themselves on some of the non-Nashville country areas and stuff. And so that's some background. And now we're going to tell you what it sounds like. Kevin, why don't you start us off?
Sure, Derek. I think this album sounds like red dirt country. It's not afraid to rock and occasionally wander. What do you think?
Nice. I think it sounds like Todd Snider, Johnny Cash, and Woody Guthrie just getting together and jamming out at a dance hall. But I like your wandering, and it makes me immediately, hate that I don't have a Willie reference in there. All right, so that brings us to key tracks. Kevin, what did you have?
I've got The Bird Hunters and Long Drive Home. What about you?
Because I'm actually going with Time of Day and Easton and Maine. So why don't you start us off with The Bird Hunters?
Sure. Yeah, this is the first one on the record. It is a mid-tempo waltz with flourishes of fiddle. While a guy goes dove hunting with his buddies, he's sort of mentally processing coming back home after a breakup. There's one really good line. They sing, "How good does it feel? You belong in these hills. It's best that you let it all in." And I really just love how they tell that larger story within this smaller little episode. So it's really, really great songwriting in general.
Nice. I'm going to talk about Time of Day. It was a fourth track here. Fine fiddling that really jumped out to me. Rumbling electric guitar, thumping bass guitar, and lyrics describing the right kind of love that's all kinds of wrong. And one lyric I really liked, he says, "You try to fool me into thinking that you're so refined. You're the kind of liquor that makes a man go stone blind." So really just kind of a fun barn burner here. Really enjoyed this track.
Nice. Yeah. And then Long Drive Home is my other one. There's electric guitar, steady banjo, pining fiddle, even some accordion, which is a nice touch. It's about living life on the road and sort of all the thinking time that gives you. One line, he says, "They all want to be Hank Williams. They don't want to have to die," which is just a really strong one-liner from that song. And it's packed full of one-liners like that, along with this really great sing-along chorus. It's probably my favorite part of the song. What was your other one, Derek?
Nice. That was a great track. I'm actually going with Easton and Maine, which was this was a re-release. They put this out on one of their earlier albums. One thing that really stood out to me was the pedal steel guitar. I thought it just was a great standout, really added a lot to the emotional tone of the song. I thought kind of a slow one, so this is a great song for two-stepping. I thought it was really good, just great version of this song. All right, so that brings us to best lyric. We've already kind of danced around a few here, but now we're gonna, get come to the brass tacks. Kevin, what was your favorite?
Sure. I've got a line from Down Here, and it's pretty simple. He says, "You can have a nickel out of my last dime." And it's a clever turn of phrase, obviously, but I think it's just also kind of an honest, friendly offer that really captures the heart of who these guys are. Turnpike Troubadours are kind of a working man's band, and seem like just nice guys in general. What was your best lyric, Derek?
You know, it's kind of funny because the one I'm pulling, it's ringing in the year, and you know, it happens to mention champagne. I mention that only because that would, you know, completely go against your working class band, if you will, idea, which I totally agree with. But I just like it here. Ring in the year, he says, and cheap champagne don't dull the pain of ringing in the year, wondering if you think of me at all. You know, again, very poignant. You know, I like the imagery of champagne. You know, just kind of brings together you know, what he's trying to say here and just the overall theme of the song. So just really great songwriting, as you alluded to earlier. All right, so that brings us to the overall rating. And big question: will the Turnpike Troubadours country sound make you turn up the volume? Kevin, why don't you start us off?
All right. Overall, I think this is a really strong album from these guys. I think they pack their songs really tightly, but also elegantly. The electric guitar fits smoothly with like fiddle and banjo and even accordion. They have a knack for classic country sounds, but with this really fun, fresh energy. Their songwriting has always been top notch, and the stories here are no different. They can nail almost any kind of song, everything from a little more rock or blues or acoustic. So overall, really great album. I'm going to go with 5 out of 5. I'm feeling this one. And will it make you turn up the volume? There's probably, obviously, I'm going to say yes. This is not your average country album. You'll want to listen to the lyrics and the arrangements and the songs. And I think these guys are just one of the most reliable country bands out there today. And I'm a really big fan of them. And this album, if you couldn't tell by my hat. What do you think?
Nice, Kevin. You know, I agree with you on tons of points here. Just to answer the question, you know, make you turn up the volume. Emphatically, yes. I totally agree with you. You know, I thought it was really strong musically. You know, you could the strong musicianship was palpable. And it came through in many different aspects. You know, one thing that jumped out to me was the cool harmonica part on Seven Oaks. Lyrically, it was great. It was really fun to see them live. You can tell they just have a lot of fun doing this, and it comes through on this album as well. I agree with you on all the points you just made, so I'm just going to cut to the chase and give this one a 4 out of 5. You know, just because we don't give out 10s out of 10s here last week's album, you know? All right, so there you have it. 5 from Kevin, a 4 from me, so that's a combined 9 out of 10. So you better check out Turnpike Troubadours' self-titled album. Don't forget to subscribe to last week's album. Shout out to the podcast. Don't forget to join us again next time. Thanks again. As always, I'm Derek.
I'm Kevin. See you next time, guys.
Cheers.